Year he. It's your girl Cassie King, and I am coming to you live and in color, honey. Go on ahead and grab your snacks, grab some drinky drinks, and some snuggy wuggies, because we is about to get into some things, child. Now, I know that the last live that we had, I did put that up on YouTube, guys. So if you guys missed anything, I did post it full live on YouTube. If you guys need to be catching up on any of the Bible tea parties, if you missed any of the Bible tea parties, it will be on YouTube. And I also post clips on my TikTok. Okay, guys. So again, head on over to each platform, whichever works for you. If you have a short attention span, that is okay. I got you covered on the TikTok. Okay, so that's Cassie.King with the letter X at the end. If you go over to my YouTube, that is Cassie King, and you guys can be able to view anything that you felt like you missed. If you are new here, it's your girl Cassie King, and what we like to do here is a number of things, but primarily it is called the Bible Tea Party, and we are just going to be going through a number of books and the Bible. So today we are going to be picking up where we left off on in the book of Judges, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys some time to grab your snacks, your drinkies, and some snuggy wuggies. Get comfortable. Y'all know I like to have my little snack when I watch my videos. So go on ahead and get comfortable. Get comfortable, and then we're going to do a quick recap from the last video just so that we are able to kind of remember where we left off, and then we'll get started and seeing what these new leaders are going to be into. And we have a number of names. Just to give you guys a warning in advance, I am horrible with pronouncing some of the words in the Bible in terms of people's names and things like that. So if you guys think that I mispronounced something, go and read it yourself. I am not your mama. Okay, so we are going to get into Judges. Now, where we left off was Judges 12. Whew. Child. Now, that story, it got me a little bit emotional because, hold on, let me move this over here because I feel like you guys may not be able to hear me that well. And y'all know y'all ain't going to say nothing. Y'all just going to sit there. Excuse me. So in the last Bible Tea Party, guys, we went over a number of things in terms of our new leaders, what the leaders were like. The book of Judges is about when the Israelites finally get to Canaan, they start, backsliding and doing a big one, and come and find out. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna have to call her back. Okay, guys, can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay. So, again, guys, Judges is about God basically helping the Israelites redeem themselves every time they turn astray. So, in the beginning, we get to see a number of people who are appointed to help the Israelites get back from being under the control of their enemies. The reason why they were being under the control of their enemies, guys, is because when they start worshiping false idols and doing things that they know they ain't supposed to be doing, then that's when the Lord's grace and glory is removed from their lives and they become weak towards their enemies. And then they start realizing they weak, and they get to crying and praying, talking about, God, can you help us now? And God be like, go ask your false idols. And then they get to being like, oh, well, we're just gonna burn them. We don't want them, we want you. And then they start worshiping him again, and then he goes and he sends them leaders to help protect them and lead them to victory when it comes to being under the control and demise of their enemies. So we had a number of leaders that we went over with, a number of leaders. So you guys have to go to YouTube to get all the guys and girls' names that helped out. But we had a story with Jael, which is a female ruler who did not come to play. She had to nail somebody's head to the floor, literally. We also had Deborah, who was also a leader who helped lead the Israelites and keep the Israelites together. And she was the mother of, she was given mother. Mm-hmm. We had Ehud, a number of guys that Shamgar, probably not saying that right. We had a number of leaders. So if you guys want to know who these people are and how they helped the Israelites during this time of distress, and if you want to get the tea on the war and what they did to be successful in war, then you're going to go ahead and head over to my YouTube and or TikTok if you got a short attention span. I do like 30-second videos. For those who can't sit through the whole thing, I understand. I got you, friend. But yeah, Deborah and Barack, they did their big one. She made a song about it. If you guys want to know, the song is like a summarized version of their journey, which is Judges 5. You're going to read the whole thing. Okay. Now, guys, we are going to be in Judges for the end of this segment, and then we're going to move on and go into what I like to call my favorite book, which is Ruth, and hopefully we can get that by this week as well. But y'all know, if I'm not giving, then I ain't finna come and play in nobody's face, nor am I gonna play in the God's face. But I will be coming to you guys with the verse of the day and prayers and stuff like that. But we're not gonna be playing in nobody's face if I'm not 100% here with it. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, guys, and so we also get into that evil leader. I think his name is Abby Malek. I'm probably saying that wrong. You go in there, you go read it, you figure out how to say it. Hi, baby. We gotta get a remake. So he was evil and he was using hoodoo to have power. He was using dark energy to rule, and his baby brother got away. Now he had 70 brothers and siblings because his father apparently was getting around. He had a number of wives. Okay. Well, anyway, one of the kids offed all of the other brothers except for one got away. And if you guys need to know who I'm talking about, you need to head over there. But it's Gideon. So Gideon was one of the judges in Judges, one of the leaders. Now, when we get upon Gideon's story, we see he a little sneaky. He was getting sneaky. So I was like, okay. And so he led the Israelites at one point. Anyway, one of his sons became evil, power hungry, and wicked. And so you already know the HPGOD wasn't gonna go for that. Now, my Lord. So he winded up being defeated by what? A woman. Yes, a woman. Amen. So a lady had dropped a rock on his thinker, okay, and so then his thinker broke, and so he didn't want to for the rumors to get around that he had got unalived by a woman. So he told one of his little soldiers, "Oh, you can go ahead and use your sword because I don't want nobody talking about I was unalived by a woman." But she unalived him initially, and then after that, there was a new leader. Okay. So the new leader was Japheth. I want to say that's how you say it. Probably not saying it right. Now Japheth, he was I'm trying to figure out how to say this appropriately for my other viewers. But basically, his mother was an S worker. So because his father was a ruler and was powerful and everything like that, because his mama was an S worker, they talk about, you ain't finna get the inheritance. So they disowned him and he went on about his way, became a rebel and a leader, and he had his own crew. So when the Israelites yet again needed a new leader, the people in this time, okay, they needed a new leader. They needed someone that was going to be able to lead them to victory again, because again, they were under such treacherous experiences. And so he was like, why would I help y'all? And y'all disown me just because of who my mama is or whatever. So we had him, he came, he did his big one, and then his story ended very dramatically. He had to unalive his own begotten child, only child, a little girl. Well, I don't think she was a little girl, but she was very young. And because he called himself making a promise to God. Now, if you guys are barely coming in, we need to let you know that when you say you're going to do something, you have to do it, guys. That's just it's a part of the commandments. Go figure out what your 10 commandments is. If you missed it, then you got to go find out. Okay, I am not your mama. But one of the commandments, especially during at these times, because see, Jesus wasn't here yet. So Jesus wasn't here yet, guys. So that was the ultimate sacrifice. But back in those days, when you said you was gonna do something for the Lord or for anybody, you had to stand on business. And so he basically told the HPGOD that if God helped him win that war with those kings, that he would give him a burnt offering of the first thing that he see when he got home. And the first thing he saw when he got home was his only begotten daughter. So he had to, that's how his story ended, and that's how we left off. Okay, now that is a recap off the top of the dome. If I didn't get all the details, that is not my fault. You should have came to the party. Now, guys, I did not warn anyone about today's Bible tea party because I am a busy woman and I'm a hard woman to reach. Okay, so if I am hitting you by surprise, you're welcome. All right, guys. So before we get started, I wanted to go over today's verse of the day first, and then we'll pick up in Judges, and we're going to do a little prayer, and then we're going to get started, okay? Because I do feel like we should be praying before some of this Bible reading, just because when we ended out Japheth's story, I was like, oh, I'm about to pray. Let me pray. Because he was willing to stand on business. He knew he had to do what he had to do. And so did his daughter. But I do feel like, guys, some of these stories in this part of the Bible is emotional and deep. And because I am a believer, I do believe these things truly happen. I think we should be graced by the Lord and just kind of do a quick little prayer. And so, since we're going to be doing that, we might as well do a verse of the day as well for those of you who may need it. So, go ahead, open your notebook, get your pen, because I don't know why you be asking me every time I turn around. Somebody's like, you got a pencil. You should have came prepared. I don't care if I surprised you or not. And if y'all was hanging out with me last night, I'm so sorry. I was acting so goofy. I was so tired. So, but yeah, we gonna get into some tea chat. Give me a second. So, let's do our verse of the day. Okay, so verse of the day is going to be John 16, verse 33, and I am reading the NIV version, okay? So it says, I have told you those things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world, okay? Now, that is the Lord talking, okay? That is Jesus. That's Jesus. Now, there's no escaping the fact that life is messy and full of trouble, but this is a beautiful world at the end of the day. You got to look at the bright side of things. Today is a gift, okay? That's why they call it present. Okay, wake that up. You're welcome. Clock it, okay? But despite all of the troubles, guys, remember that Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice, and he did his big one for us. And if he could do that for us, then the least we could do is be grateful for this day and be happy, okay? So that is the verse of the day. Let's go on ahead and get into our prayer, and then let's go ahead and start our Bible tea party, guys. And I'm so happy that you guys came in today. I know that it's been a long time coming. All right. I know it's been a while since I've hosted one of these parties with you guys today. in a while, but at the end of the day, it was worth the wait, and you know it. Mm-mm-mm. Go ahead and bow your heads. We're going to get into this prayer, and then we're going to get started, guys. Alrighty. Bow your head. Close your eyes. And the neutral and non-believers, you too. You in my house. All right. All right. So it says here, God, I believe in you no matter what comes my way. I believe you have overcome the world. Even through trouble is ever present. You are my constant source of peace. You surround me and protect me. Nothing is too difficult for you to accomplish. I will praise you because you are one in whom I trust. You are in control. In Jesus' name, amen. So, guys, that is the prayer for today. If you guys want to write that down, go ahead over to the YouTube. I will be posting it sometime tonight. I usually try to post things by midnight so that YouTube has time to figure out what I'm posting and stuff like that. It's this thing. It's this thing. Whole lot of. All right, but yes, may God bless our party today, guys. All right, so let's go on ahead and pick up in Judges. We are in Judges 12, and I'm going to start with, how you say these names? Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, and they lead the Israelites now. So it's three of them. I guess one leader ain't never enough. Now, another thing, too, guys, there's been a pattern with the Israelites. They'll have a leader, and the leader will lead them to victory, and they'll be standing 10 toes down for the Lord. And then next thing you know, they start doing what they said they wasn't supposed to be doing. They know they ain't supposed to be worshiping false gods. They know they ain't supposed to be doing all kind of things that they be doing, and so then they lose God's grace, and then they become weak to their enemies and all of this and the third. So God keep having to give them leaders, and that's what basically the pattern is in Judges. So now we got three guys that are going to come in. Okay, now we ended off with Japhethah, who he led Israel for 6 years, and then he passed away, and he was buried in Gilead. Okay, so now that he passed away, we got some new big homies that's gonna lead the Israelites, and we're gonna see what kind of war that they go through, and hopefully they're good leaders. Okay, hopefully we gonna see. Hopefully it's some tea. Okay, guys. So after Jephthah passed, Abzan of Bethlehem led Israel, and he had 30 sons and 30 daughters. And he let his daughters marry men from the other clans, and he also bought 30 young women from the other clans to marry his sons. Ibzan led Israel for 7 years, and then he passed away, and they buried him in Bethlehem. So basically, what this is saying here is he built up a nation within his bloodline on his own. So after he passed away, Elon from Zebulun led Israel for 10 years, and then he passed away, and they buried him where he was from. And then after Elon, his son Abdon led Israel, and he came to Parathon, and he had 40 sons, 30 grandsons, and they rode on 70 donkeys. And then Abnon led Israel for 8 years, and then he passed. And they buried him at Parathon, a town in the land of Ephraim's tribe, and that was a hill on the country of the Amaleks. Probably not saying that right. Okay, so that's pretty much how those leaders, they picked up on like three other leaders, and how they were able to lead those people for so long is obviously because of how many kids they had and everything like that. Hi, Mom, you late, ain't it? But yes, guys. So now we are in, and that's Judges 12. That's the end of Judges 12. We are now going to be in Judges 13, and we get to learn about Samson. So I've heard about Samson. I get him mixed up with Who I be getting him mixed up with? It's gonna come to me. But I be getting him mixed up with somebody else. So Samson, he is born, and we're gonna get his story. And I believe it gives Joshua, but this I might be wrong, guys, because it's been a while since I read this book. I haven't read this book since I was in like middle school. Okay, guys. Okay, so the Israelites again, they did things that the Lord saw were evil. Did they? We already know they're gonna be on they're gonna be backsliding, slipping aside, and I ain't judging. Who am I to judge, right? I cannot judge. But what I can do, what I can say is I see that they have a pattern. So we gonna see what it's given with Samson, and I think it's gonna be tea. I think it's gonna be tea. Okay, guys. So, the Israelites again, they did evil stuff. So God put them under the power of the Philistines for 40 years. We already know that this pattern happens. Okay, they was suffering over there round the way. I can't think of the town. I thought I had them for 8 years, and then it was 20 years, and then it was, they then after a while they go, oh, God, can you help us? So now it's been 40 years that they've been cutting up after all those last three leaders that we just read were helping them. And then them people had all them sons and all them daughters, and they still with the cutting up. So we're gonna see what it's given. Now there was a man who belonged to Dan's tribe, and his name was Mona, and he lived in Zorah, and his wife had no children because she couldn't have kids. The Lord's angel appeared to her and he said, you won't be able to give birth to any children until now, but you will become pregnant and you will give birth to a son. So she about to have her a Virgin Mary moment. Okay, friend. Because you know Virgin Mary was the only Virgin Mary I heard about. Virgin Mary. I ain't heard about nobody else getting pregnant by the Holy Spirit. So that's what it's given. And if you think I'm lying, go ahead to Judges 13, and you're going to see right there where Judges 13, verse 3, when the Lord's angel appeared to her because she didn't have no kids. I'm pretty sure she wanted some, especially with all them people that had like 30, 40 kids. That was like a thing back in the day. People wanted to have lots and lots of children. So basically, God, like, you're gonna give birth to a son. Now, the only way that you guys have to understand, back in these days, when God give you something, you gotta give something back. Okay, just like when they was going into war, they had to burn all that gold and all that nice luxury stuff. They had to burn all that, give that to God. God said, what you gonna do for me? So she had to do a specific thing for her to have this miracle baby. Okay, so he told her, you must not drink any wine and any beer. Duh. And you must not eat any food that is unclean. If you guys need to figure out what they mean by unclean, then you need to go look in the book of Leviticus. Okay. Yes, you will give birth to a son, but you must never cut the boy's hair. Okay, this story. This is the story. I like this story. Um, he is to be Nazarite. He will belong to God from the time that he is born. Is given Jesus, I know, and he will begin to rescue the Israelites from the power of the Philistines. Okay, so at this point, okay, guys, what the Israelites constantly cutting up is given, they need the Holy Spirit at this point. They need an actual angel on earth because every time a man leads them to victory, it's like it's not enough for them. So God had to find a woman who's never bared children due to whatever condition she had to hold this baby in her womb from him, so that way when he grows up he can be the leader to free these people from all of these crazy situations that they was in, because the Israelites were being evil, and they already God's children. God have to discipline them, but he also have to make sure that they're led to victory by any means necessary. Okay, so he wanted Samson to be born, and there was a number of things that she was supposed to do to make sure that he was holy. Okay, so the woman quickly told her husband, and she said, a man of God came to me, and he looked like an angel. that God has sent with a message. She was like, I was afraid of him. I did not ask where he came from. He didn't tell me his name. He said to me, you going to become pregnant and you're going to give birth to a son. And you can't drink no wine and no beer. And you must not eat no food that's unclean. And the boy will belong to me as a Nazarite from his birth until the day he passed. And she was like, that's what she told her husband. She was like, I was scared. And so Mona prayed to the Lord, and he said, please, Lord, send the man of God to come see us again. And he said, let him teach us how we should take care of this boy who will be born. And so you guys have to understand, back in those days, people was having like real life one-on-one conversations with the Lord. You're supposed to be doing that today, but this is how it was, okay? God will send an angel to come and talk to you in person. Nowadays, we have when Jesus had to be unalive the way that he was unalive, that was the ultimate sacrifice, boo boo. That was the ultimate. So we don't get this little VIP RSVP type of treatment no more. But that's basically what's happening right now, because he needs to know what is given, because all of the false idols and all of the evil things that's happening, they need to know for sure that this is true. And if it is true, they need to make sure that they don't do nothing that's inappropriate, because back in those days when you did something that was inappropriate to something that's supposed to be holy, you will be unalived immediately. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I lost my place. Okay, so God did what Mona asked, and the angel came to visit Mona's wife. She was resting in the fields, and her husband was not with her. She ran to tell her husband, come quickly, the man who came to me the other day has appeared to me again. And Mona got up and he followed his wife. When he met the man, he asked him, are you the man who talked to my wife? And the man said, yes, I am. And then Mona asked him, when what you promised happens, should the boy live? What kind of work will he do? So now they're just trying to figure out like what we supposed to do with this miracle baby. Okay. So the Lord's angel answered her. He said, answered him and was like, your wife must be careful to do everything I told her. She must not eat anything that comes from vines, which is wine, and she must not drink wine or beer. She must not eat any food that is unclean, and she must obey everything that I have commanded her to do. Again, guys, if you want to know what the word unclean means and what kind of food was considered unclean and everything like that, then you're going to go to Leviticus. It should be in there. And it's definitely relevant in today's time, but that's another story for another time. Plus, again, guys, Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice, so we got a lot of privileges now as a believer. The angel replied, even if I stay with you, I will not eat your food, but you may prepare a burnt offering as a sacrifice to the Lord. Okay, so I accidentally read ahead, guys. So Mona said to the Lord's angel, please stay here with us. We will cook a young goat for you to eat. And so he basically was like, even if I stay with you, I couldn't eat that food. You have to burn that food for God, because burnt offerings were very necessary, and one of the main ways that people used to show God appreciation. They would burn something that was of value, and it was usually like the most healthiest lamb, most healthiest goat, prepare a good gourmet meal. Your prized possessions like gold and silver, iron, and things like that will be a good burnt offering for the Lord. And the angel said, because Mona had not realized that he was the Lord's angel. Then Mona asked the Lord's angel, what is your name? When what you have promised happens, will we be able to give you honor? And so the angel replied again, you should not ask me what my name is. It is too great for you to understand. Ooh, wake that up. Okay. Shoot, you don't need to know who I am. Just know I am who I am. Boots. Okay. So then Mona took the young goat and a grain offering. Again, guys, if you guys need to know what the offerings were looking like, go to Leviticus, but I'm going to give you guys an idea. So there's also a thing called grain offering. Back in those days, you would go and get your healthiest grain, like what you would make bread with and stuff like that. That would be a good burnt offering as well. It got to be fresh and clean. And it got to be the best of the best. Okay. And he offered them on a rock as a sacrifice to the Lord. While Mona and his wife watched, the Lord surprised them with a miracle. Okay. As the flames of the fire rose from the sacrifice to the sky, the Lord's angel went up in the flames. Then Mona and his wife saw this and they fell down on their faces toward the ground. My thing is, we already know when you in the presence of an angel and you talking to the Lord, you already gonna feel it. You gonna know immediately. Like, I don't know why or how, but I do need to show you some type of appreciation. I need to show you some type of I feel like I owe you something. I owe you something, friend, because you can feel the energy. So they immediately, like back in these days, when they would encounter an angel, they would always offer hospitality. Okay. Even Lot was a little touched, but he made them some bread real quick and please stay at my house. And if y'all know who I'm talking about Lot, which is Abraham's nephew, and he was touched, child. He was touched. But he ain't as touched as the rest of these doggone Israelites. Apparently he was smart compared to them. Anyway. So the Lord's angel did not appear to them again. Mona then realized that their visitor was the Lord's own angel, and he said to his wife, we are sure to die. We have seen God. So, guys, back in those days when when God's presence was so powerful that if you were not appointed to be the chosen one, then it was believed at the time that you would be unalived. Okay. But his wife said to him, the Lord accepted our burnt offering and our grain offering. He would not have done that if he wanted to unalive us. He would not have shown us all these great things. He would have not told us about what will happen to us. Now, Mona's wife gave birth to a son, and she gave him the name Samson. The child grew to become a man, and the Lord blessed him. The Lord's Spirit began to give Samson strength when he was living in Mahana. Dan, probably not saying that right. The place was between Zorah and Eshtal. Probably not saying that right either. But yes, guys, if you guys want to know about how Samson's mom and dad witnessed the angel in God's presence himself, you are going to go to Judges 13, verse 18 through 22. Okay, so that is Judges 13. We are now in Judges 14. Take a note. Hold on. I'm going to give you a second to catch up. I ain't going to rush. Ain't no rush, boo-boo. Ain't no rush, boo-boo. Okay. Oh, I got this cut from my old job, and I really, really like that job. I liked it, but I don't want to show it on camera. Okay, guys. So now we are in Judges 14, and Samson marries a Philistine woman. Okay, so one day Samson, he went to Timnah, and Samson saw a young Philistine woman. When he returned home, he said to his father and mother, I have seen a young Philistine woman in Timnah, and I want to marry her. Now, back in those days, guys, hold on, let me move this down some. Back in those days, guys, they did marriages in an arranged kind of way, and they had to do it in an honor, in a holy way, because that was just how it was supposed to be. Period. It's supposed to be like that today. Ask my hand in marriage. Don't be just thinking and assuming I'm gonna marry you. Okay, but anyway, guys. So Philistine woman in Timnah, and I want to marry her. He said, "Please get her for me as my wife." So how that happens is, your father, who is usually the breadwinner, the ruler of wherever you was at, when you get old enough to start wanting to get married and stuff, then you will have your father go to her father, and they will come to some type of arrangement and some type of understanding where the money at, and if they will discuss who, if anybody was worthy of marrying their daughter, etc. So this is the conversation. He like, I met this girl, I really like her, and I want to marry her. So can you go over there and do your big one so we can win? So I can win her hand in marriage. Okay. But Samson's father said this. Samson said this to his father: "You must get her for me, and she is the right girl for me." And so Samson's parents did not realize that the Lord was causing this to happen. Then the Lord wanted to prepare a way for the Israelites to attack the Philistines, because the Philistines were ruling over Israel at the time. Okay, let me read that again, guys. So, um, Samson, he wanted to marry a woman from the other side. She was on the opposition in the eyes of what was going on. Remember, the whole purpose for him to being born is so that he can help Israel. Okay? So his parents and told him, you do not need to go to the Philistines to get a wife. They are not the Lord's people. There is usually someone among your own relatives or other Israelites that you should marry. Okay. He was basically, they was like, they not a part of our culture or bloodline or whatever the case may be. So you ain't got no business trying to go marry the girl from the opposite side, because it's not given that. But they didn't know that God was behind this anyway. Okay. And I do believe, based off of what I'm reading, he was causing this to happen to possibly unite them. But that's what it's given for me. But you guys read it yourself. You tell me what you think is given. That's going to be Judges 14, verse 3-4. So again, the Lord wanted to prepare a way for the Israelites to attack the Philistines. So because the Philistines were ruling over Israel at this time. So Samson went to Timnah, and his parents went to, and he reached some vineyards near Timnah, and an angry young lion ran out and attacked him. And the Lord's Spirit gave Samson great strength. He tore the lion into pieces with his hands. He made it seem very easy, as if he was unaliving a goat. But he did not tell his father or his mother what he had done. So he had physical strength of a giant, guys, okay? And now he's starting to learn his strength, and he's starting to realize that he is physically supernatural. And he kept it to himself, as he should. Because you already know, if you guys been to the Bible tea parties before, then you would know that telling your tea just ain't it. We already learned that from Joseph. Joseph. Yeah, Joseph. We learned that a long time ago. Don't tell your tea right away, okay? Not to mama, not to daddy, not to brother, not to sister, not to cousin. Not yet. You get what I'm saying? So he didn't tell them yet. Then Samson continued his journey to Timnah, and he spoke with the young woman, and she had pleased him very much. And some time later, Samson returned to Timnah to marry the young woman, and he turned off the path to look at the lion's body instead. Okay, so inside it, there was a crowd of bees and some honey. He took the honey out with his hands and he ate it as he walked along. When he went to his parents, he gave them some of the honey and they ate it. But he did not tell them that he had taken it from the body of an unalived lion. Oh, y'all, what's going on here? This is suspenseful. I don't remember reading this part. This is suspenseful. Wow. That's suspenseful, ain't it? Okay, guys, so y'all remember, let me try to put it in simple terms because I'm reading it for word. Remember, he was out minding his business, saw a little shorty and everything like that. He started, he was feeling his little shorty. And then a lion came out and tried to attack him, and he ripped the lion apart. And when he got distracted with his little shorty again, he went back to go look at the lion's unalived body, and it was bees all in it, and the bees had formed honey. And so he started to consume the honey, and he took that same honey that he got out of that unalived lion to his parents, and they had it, and he didn't tell them how he had got that honey. That's it's giving water from the rock. Now, if y'all don't know what that's about, then go head over to the Bible Tea Parties. You'd have missed it. Okay, but it's giving water from the rock. Mm-hmm. Then Samson's father went to Timnah for Samson's marriage. Samson prepared a party for the people there, and all the young men did this when they were married. Then the Philistines saw that Samson saw what he was doing. They sent 30 young men to be his friends. Okay, so the Philistines was acting like they was cool. Okay, and Samson said to them, listen to this clever question. Try to give me an answer before my party finishes in 7 days. Okay, so back in his culture, when they would get married and stuff like that, they would party for a week straight. Y'all know this. We already know they like to turn up. The people in Israel, they turned up for any and everything, especially when it came to marriages and stuff like that. So Samson said to them, listen, try to give me an answer before my party ends in 7 days. If you can answer the question, then I'll give you 30 linen shirts and 30 sets of clothes. But if you cannot tell me the answer, then you'll give me 30 linen shirts and 30 sets of clothes. So basically, they about to come up with some type of arrangement. So the young man said, tell us your question. So Samson said, he was like, out of the one who eats came something to eat. Out of the strong one came something sweet. Is he talking about that lion situation, friend? After 3 days, the Philistines' man could not find the answer. Of course, they ain't gonna find the answer because you never told nobody what happened. Because that was a miracle. That was like super, super suspenseful, but it was a miracle. So how was they gonna find the answer? He just basically wanted people to give him a whole bunch of clothes and stuff. On the 4th day, they said to Samson's wife, find a way to make your husband tell you the answer. If you do not, we will use fire to destroy your father's house with you inside. Did you ask us to come to your marriage party to make us poor and did drain you dry? So basically, they couldn't figure out what the answer was to his riddle, and they went to threatening his wife behind his back, talk about, if you don't tell your husband to tell you what the answer is, we gonna unalive y'all. We gonna set things on fire. Okay. What the HPGOD got to say about that? So then Samson's wife, if you think I'm lying, you're going to head over to Judges 14 and you're going to read 14 through Judges 14, verse 14 through 15. Okay. When they sent her that little threat and when he asked them about that little riddle. Now we know what the riddle is. It was because he unalived that lion that attacked him. And when he came back to that lion that he unalived with his bare hands, that lion had bees and honey in it, fresh honey that was edible, and he ate it and he served it to his family, his parents. And this is during the time he had met his little shorty as well, his wife. Now, his wife now. Then Samson's wife went to him and she wept. And she said to him, "It seems that you hate me." I hope she don't. Ooh, and she becomes so, you know, them women, some women be manipulated. You ain't got to manipulate him, girl. He's a miracle son, and he is. She about to piss me off. I think she about to be manipulated. I think she about to be manipulated. Hold on. She about to piss me off. She bet not. So then Samson's wife went to him and she wept. And she said to him, "It seems that you hate me. You do not really love me. You have asked my friends a clever question, but you did not tell them the answer." Samson said to her, "I have not told the answer even to my father or my mother, so why would I tell you?" Ooh. Wake that up. Girl, I didn't even tell my mama or my daddy what happened, so why would I go over here telling you? Okay, you was just the wife. Okay. So Samson's wife continued to weep like all of the days of the party. Finally, she gave him so much trouble, he told her the answer on the seventh day. Then she told the young men the answer to Samson's question. Before sunset on the seventh day, the men of the town gave the answer to Samson. "There is nothing sweeter than honey. There is nothing stronger than a lion." Samson said to them, "You have used my young cow to do your work. Without her," y'all know young cow is heifer. Mm-hmm. Okay. So without her, you would have not found the answer to my question. Then the Lord's Spirit took hold of Samson. Ooh. And he went to Ashkelon and he unalived 30 Philistine men there. And he took all their clothes and gave them to the 30 men who had answered this question. And he was still very angry as he went back to his family's home. Samson's wife became the wife of the man who had been in his special friend. Samson's wife became the wife of the man who had been his special friend at the party. Oh, so he passed her to the team and did. That's what it said. It said she became the wife of the man who had been his special friend at the party. Hold on, guys. Let me read this other version. And Samson's wife was given to one of his companions who attended. I knew it. Yeah. Ooh, that's good. That's tea for me. I like this. I like this. I like Samson's story. I always did like Samson's story. I did. So basically, what had happened was she went over to talk about, "Oh, you don't love me," so she can go and tell the tea to the oppositions. He shouldn't have married the opposition in the first place. His mom and dad already told him that. But God had already was trying to work in the midst of the atmosphere so he could ruffle up them feathers to get Samson, to get that ism inside, that anger inside of him, so he could start whooping on them. So he had to find a way to get him to start getting ready to fulfill his purpose. And yes, sometimes God will shake things up in the atmosphere for you so that way you can post up. Okay. But yeah, so basically when she went over there and ran her mouth and told the T on the secret, because he already know he never told nobody but her. So how would they find out what the answer was? So when they came over there talking about this the answer, honey is sweeter than this, and nothing stronger than a lion. Oh, nothing ain't stronger than a lion, but he is. He is. And so he was like, the only reason why you know is because this heifer told you. And he passed her to the team. He gave her to the homie. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. And if you think I'm lying, that's gonna be Judges 14. Read 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 verse 18, Judges 8, sorry. Read Judges 14, verse 18 through 19, guys. That's where that T is at. Mm-hmm. You came up. Only reason why you know the answer to this is because this heifer. And since you want to go run your mouth, homie, you can have her. And he passed her to the team. Mm-hmm. And did. I ain't lying. Go read your Bible. I am not lying. I'm not fit to sit up here and lie and play in your face. You playing in your mama face. So now we are in Judges 15. 15. Sorry guys, I had a lot of coffee this morning. Y'all know I'm super goofy. When I have too much caffeine or when I don't get enough sleep. Okay, on the live ones. So now we are in Judges 15, guys. We are in Judges 15, and Samson defeats the Philistines, okay? You know he did. Y'all gonna like this story. So after some days, at the time of the wheat harvest, Samson went to visit his wife with a young goat. And he said, I will go to my wife in the chamber. But her father would not allow him to go in. And her father said, I really thought that you utterly hated her. So I gave her to your companion. Ooh, I thought he passed her to the team. I guess they was like, well, since he got an attitude, his dad sold her to the homie. I thought Samson sold her to the homie. Her father did, because she was shiesty and she was a heifer. Because he called her a heifer. My bad, guys. I read that wrong. So apparently he didn't pass her to the team. Her dad thought that Samson was so pissed off at her that he was no longer gonna want her. So he's betrothed her to Samson's homeboy. So he was like, is not her younger sister more beautiful than she? Please take her instead. So he was like, you can have a younger sister since she prettier anyway. And so Samson said to them, this time I shall be innocent in regard to the Philistines when I do them harm. This time I shall be innocent in regard to the Philistines when I do them harm. So Samson went and caught 300 foxes and took torches. 300 foxes by himself? And took torches, and he turned them tail to tail and put a torch between each pair of tails. And he set the fire to the torches, and he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines and set fire to the stacked grain and standing grain, as well as the olive orchards. Oh, he was mad about his little heifer. And then the Philistines said, who have done this? And they said, Samson, the son-in-law of Timnite, because he has taken his wife and given her to his homeboy. And the Philistines came up and they burned her and her father with the fire. And Samson said to them, if this is what you do, I swear I will be avenged on you. After that, I will quit. And he struck them hip and high with a great blow. And he went down and stayed in the cleft of the rock of Edom. Oh, so it was up. So basically, if I'm reading this right, when he had got pissed off, he took off and left after his wedding. And he went to whooping on some of the Philistines, I think 30 of them. Then he came back to his wife, and her dad was like, "No, you can't go in there. I already gave her to your homeboy. She got a little sister though." And he was like, "Okay, bet." And so he lit everything up on fire. He sent some foxes, 300 foxes. So you already know that was a lot of things being burnt and stuff. Because that was kind of shicey. I thought before he left, I thought he had gave her to the homeboy, but that wasn't his intention. He was mad, but he probably still loved her or whatever. I don't know. But that pissed him off too. But now he got rage inside of him. And so when the Philistines found out, or whatever the case may be, that's the reason why he did all of that and destroyed all of that property and stuff like that, because it was 300 foxes. When they found out that they were the cause of his madness, then they unalived her and her family. Y'all catching up? Y'all get it? Did that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. You better keep up, friend. So then the Philistine army went to attack Judah. They made their camp near Lehi, and they prepared to fight. Now it's about to go down. They're about to go to war. The men of Judah asked them, "Why have you come to attack us?" And the Philistines replied, "We came to catch Samson and take him as a prisoner. We need to punish him the same way he punished us." Oh, it's up now. They about to go. It's about to go down, Fred. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. Oh. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the cave where Samson was hiding. They said to him, "You know that the Philistines are our rulers, and they're causing them, and you are causing them to give us trouble." So basically, they went over there, 3,000 men. It didn't take no 3,000 men to go and see one man, did it? Which I was that scared of. So they gonna go over there and talk about, the Philistines is our bosses, and they rule over us, and you would have started all this beef and all this drama. And Samson said, "I have only done to them what was done to me." He was like, Samson said, "I just got my lick back. That's it." Basically, that's what he said. Then the men of Judah said to him, we come to tie you up as a prisoner, and we must let the Philistines take you away." And Samson said, "Promise me that you won't kill. Oh, I'm sorry. Promise me that you won't unalive me yourselves." And they said, "We agree. We will only tie you up and give you to them. We promise that we will not unalive you." So they tied him up with 2 new ropes, and they took him with them away from the cave. So now, guys, 3,000 men came to see this one man while he was hiding in the cave, because he done lit everything up and tore up all them people property with that fire. And so now he minding his business in his cave, and here come 3,000 men talk about, "We're gonna have to tie you up and give you to them as the prisoner." He said, "Well, if y'all gonna tie me up, then y'all got to give me y'all word that y'all not gonna try to do nothing to me on the way there." And so they was like, "No, we just gonna take you there as a prisoner. That's it." Okay. When they arrived at Lehi, the Philistine soldiers shouted happily as they came towards him. But the Lord's Spirit gave Samson some great strength. The ropes that tied his arms broke into pieces. They seemed as weak as grass that burns in a fire. They fell from his hands, and he saw a bone from the skull of a donkey that had just unalived. He picked it up and he used it to unalive 1,000 Philistine soldiers. 3,000 of them were pulled up, ain't it? he unalived. Hold on, friend. Let me tell you what he did. Because you need to keep up. They came over there. They tied this man up with some rope. And they was about to take him as prisoner to the Philistines because him and the Philistines got beef because of the situation with the wife and the back and forth situation with how the dad gave the wife to the homie, all this other stuff, all this drama, right? So he feels some type of way. He told all these people property. So they like, you got beef with them and they technically are our rulers. We need to take you as prisoner. He said, okay, bet, but don't touch me. So he decided after that, well, he stumbled across a skull of a donkey and whooped on 1,000 of them. Unalived 1,000 of the 3,000 men that came there. He put his tennis shoes on and he went to squabbling and he doped them. And they were unalived, friend. When they arrived at Lehi, the Philistine soldiers shouted happily as they came towards him. But the Lord's Spirit gave Samson great strength. Okay, so they thought they was like, we got him now. We got him now. So when the people of Judah called themselves try to go take him as prisoner, child, he unalived 1,000 of the soldiers by him. And so then Samson sang this song. Now he wrote a song about it. If you guys want to read his song, go ahead and run into Judges 15 and start from Judges 15, verse 15, and just go all the way down. I'm going to read it to you. I've used the donkey's skull to unalive 1,000 men. I have made them like many heaps of unalive donkeys. After that, he threw away the bone from the donkey's skull, so people called that place Ramath Lehi. Samson was now very thirsty. He called out to the Lord for help, and he said, you have helped me to win a great battle. Should I now be unalive because I am so thirsty? Then these Philistines would do whatever they want to me. So God caused a hole to open in the ground near Lehi. Water poured out of it. Samson drank some water and he became strong again. Samson called the spring of water in Hakor. Probably not saying that right. It's ENH, K as in kilometer, K as in kilometer, ORE. Okay. And it is still there in Lehi to this day. Now, Samson led Israel for 20 years while the Philistines continued to rule the land. So he ruled them for 20 years single-handedly. Okay. Now, again, guys, this is one of the greatest miracles in the Samson story. If you guys want to see where he unalived 1,000 men with a donkey skull, then you're going to go to Judges 15, verse 15, all the way down. Okay, guys? Now we are in Judges 16, and Samson visits Gaza. That's Gaza. Okay, Gaza. So we're going to read through this part, and then we're going to put a pin in it because I do want to do a standard live with my other viewers just to have some chit chat time with them and give them one-on-one because they deserve it. And so we're going to pin this here for YouTube for the viewers that like to come to the Bible tea parties. And then we're just going to hang out and relax after the Bible tea party. Does that sound great? Yes, it's going to be an after party today, baby. So one day Samson went to Gaza and he met a prostitute there and he smashed. And the people of Gaza heard that Samson was there in the city. Then the men met together and they waited for Samson to leave. They hid themselves all night at the gate of the city and they waited there quietly. And they thought that they will unalive him at dawn when he tries to leave the city. So, boom, Samson is in Gaza. He sees the S worker. He sleep with the S worker, and his ops peep that he over wherever he at. So now they plotting on his life. Okay. I got people trying to over some things I forgot I did. But anyway, sorry guys. But Samson only stayed with the woman until the middle of the night. Then he got up and he went to leave through the city gate. He took a hold of its doors and the two posts that held them. He pulled them all down together with the metal bar that locked them. And he carried them all in one piece on his shoulders and he left them at the top of the hill near her bond. Okay, guys, so this man is just beastly. He had the strength of a giant, guys. So this man, I guess they called themselves trying to lock him in the city so they could set him up before he tried to, because they thought he was gonna leave in the morning, right? But he left in the middle of the night. But they had already like tried to lock the gate. Back in those days, or not even back in those days, but you know how maybe even like a gated neighborhood. You know how they have those real tall wooden gates and they have them like shackled in and locked in and everything like that. Well, this man, he just took the whole gate off by hand. He just took the whole gate off by hand, carried the gate on his shoulder for a little bit, and then like on his way, he just dropped it off at a hill. That man is strong. That man was just beastly. Okay, so now he going on in his journey, just beast mode, and everybody just beasting. So now they got to find a way to set him up because they trying to figure out how is this man so strong. Okay, so we're gonna pick up where we left off, which is Judges 16. We're gonna pick up at the next Bible tea party, and we're gonna go into Judges 16 when Delilah deceives Samson. Now that's where it gets tea, child, because you know these shorties they be sneaky and conniving and slick. Now you would have thought he learned his lesson with the heifer. He called her a heifer. Ain't that so funny? Okay, guys, so we are gonna pick up in Judges next Bible tea party. We're gonna see what it's given with Samson and how he's deceived by Delilah. If you guys want to read ahead, then you can, and that is going to be Judges 16. You're going to pick up from Judges 16, verse 4. And I am reading the easy version. The NIV version is really good as well if you guys want to read that. Also, guys, if you guys have any problems with reading the Bible, if you try to like figure out what works best for you, I encourage you guys to download the YouVersion Bible on your phone. It is free. Okay. And there's so many knickknacks that you can utilize this Bible to do. So you can search in the search bar on the app once you download it. If you're feeling like you have anxiety, search up the word anxiety, and then next thing you know, you're going to get some word and some ism from the Bible. Because again, guys, the Bible is the living word. That I was raised that it is the living word. So each verse, each day is going to always scream out to you. You're going to know how God is going to guide you through having anxiety. If you are feeling lonely, etc., you can search up that word, or they also have like little faces at the bottom of the screen, depending on what version you download, and you'll be able to click the happy face, sad face, and it'll give you some encouraging Bible verses as well. If you guys have problems with reading the Bible and you are, not really good at reading, or if you have like whatever problems with reading, because I know sometimes I just get bored with it, you're going to read the easy version because they are going to, you're going to tap on multiple versions. You're just going to scroll through and look up the word easy, and then it'll put the Bible, the whole entire app is going to turn into an easy version for you, where it's going to be so user friendly that even a third or fourth grader can read it. Okay, guys? So that's how you guys are able to read the Bible. I also have a hard copy right here. Keep you a Bible open in the house, okay? That's gonna be your best ammunition. That's gonna be your best weapon, okay, guys. Also, if you guys need any books that you want to read with me and you guys want me to interpret the Bible how I want to interpret it, whatever the case may be, comment down below or message me directly, and I will go over requested books, okay? Because we are going to be getting further into the Bible, and I would rather read something that the viewers want to read, okay? But yes, we are going to be picking up from Judges 16, and we're going to get into how Delilah trifling behind deceives Samson. Okay, Judges 16. What's that song? Okay, guys. So again, I'm going to end out this live here, and then we're going to pick up. We're going to go hang out with some of my other viewers because I got a little bit of time, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a Bible tea after party. Okay, guys. All right. So again, guys, it's your girl Cassie King, and I am out.